Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This is the 10th episode of the DI Cable Guy Show in what has become the longest running weekly episodic WWE Champions podcast. For those of you that don't think so, we'll have more on that later. As always, I am very proud to bring you a mostly mediocre show with some subpar guests and very little to do about the actual game. Have a pretty great show by our standards lined up for you guys today. We're gonna have our normal intro here at the beginning. We're gonna get into this week's guest and what they've been up to. We're gonna debut a new thing here on the show that we've kind of hinted at, talked about, that kind of thing. And we're gonna close the show in what has quickly become a fan favorite, the 20 questions game. So before we get into that, I have to take care of some housekeeping. I want to thank Big Red for supporting us as always and sending us a lot of Big Red to drink. So if you're watching the show, crack open your Big Red because it's delicious. Sounds like my guest is doing that right now. Also, I would like to thank TWO for sponsoring the show. As you all know, they've been body slamming their competition since 1897. Kind of an off week for them. They're in between pay-per-views. They're having some storyline transitions, got a new writer, that kind of stuff. We'll keep you guys posted on what's coming up on the next show for TWO. I hear there's some big changes going to happen, some big shakeups, some old favorites possibly returning. And maybe even a firing or two. But we'll that's not for this show. I'm still not at liberty to say what's going to happen there. So with all that being said, I would like to thank my guest. This is a really big occasion. It's the first time we've had a returning guest on the show. He's been gone for a long time, and I have not been able to communicate with him. So it's just recently I found out, in fact, this morning, that he would be on the show today. So I haven't even talked to him prior to the show. So Dr. Sparks, welcome back to the show. I know all of your fans are curious as to where you've been, what you've been up to. So I'll let you take it from there, sir. Welcome to the show.
It's good to be here, Mherex. So one thing before we get into me, a little known fact, which you said that you can't mention kind of what TWO is getting into, but I am under no restrictions. I can do whatever I want. I'm pretty sure that they're getting consultations from Freddie Prinze Jr.
Really?
Yeah. So he's helping him out with the creative side.
Is he doing any promo classes with the talent?
Oh yeah.
Well, that bodes well for TWO and the talent coming up. I'll tell you that.
Yep. So, anyways, so I know you. Yeah. I mean, whatever it is that you learn about them, you have your non-disclosure agreements. But I have no such agreements. I can say whatever I want.
All right. Well, the show is your oyster, sir.
Yeah. And as far as what I've been up to, you're not the only planet in the universe, Mherex. I mean, there's a lot of other people across the span of reality that need my help. I mean, I can't just be here all the time for you.
Well, why not?
Well, it actually wouldn't be beneficial. There's the slight chance that there could be dire consequences, but I mean, the chances of that happening, it's small.
Bang.
Are you okay?
Bang bang.
Have you been shot?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, I was in the middle of saying the chances of that happening are fairly small, but given that outburst and other recent happenings, I'm not so sure anymore. I'm a little concerned, but um, hopefully, hopefully my appearance today won't fracture reality.
I mean, if it does, we'll just tell everyone to have a nice day.
All right, I see what you're doing there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh, it's it's not your best work, but I mean I appreciate it.
Yeah. So actually, I want to get back to something I said in the intro. We have had people besmirch the good name of our show.
How so?
A certain fella who apparently listens to the show, I think mainly just to troll us, likes to
Wait,
say,
is he pale and a redhead and kind of built?
he's pale. I think
Is
he
he?
has. There's some red in his beard, a little bit maybe, but not a redhead.
Oh, okay. So it's probably a different fella.
Maybe
Okay.
you
Sorry.
might know him in another timeline.
Yeah. I was thinking of a particular fella, but it sounds like it's not that.
It's not Seamus.
No. Okay. Spoilers.
Sorry.
I mean, what it could have been Seamus.
I mean, it might have been. Anyway, he spends most of his time trolling. But apparently he does listen to the show. But he likes to say that it's not a weekly running episodic podcast. In fact, this week he called it the monthly podcast, which is just ridiculous and not even close to accurate.
But
And
but it is weekly though.
it is, I know. I don't know. He has trouble with time, I think. But even besides that,
Well, most of you humans do.
that's true. But it definitely is a weekly running episodic podcast. Sometimes we're late, maybe, but that's because
Well,
you know what? I'll
oh
let
no,
you.
wait.
No.
Like what? No. So, I mean, it's not that we're late. It's that we're preempted.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you. That's why you're on the
Okay.
show.
Yeah. Are they not? I mean, do they not on when we're not on the air? Are they not watching the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show?
I don't know. I just think they assume because we're not on the air, it's because we didn't have a show, and it's not that at all. We had the show
No.
ready.
Yeah, I mean contractually, yes, we are. We are weekly, episodic, but the way things work, sometimes there are cosmic events which cause us to be preemptive, and the most common one is the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. I mean, there's a long storied history of the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show preempting
Dog
events. Yeah, dog show.
show. Yeah.
So
Yeah. We're not the
Yeah.
only event that's been preempted by this.
yeah, and the thing is, like, when you're dealing with someone that spans multiple realities, you're gonna have multiple dog shows. I mean, that's just how that works. And I for one am never going to miss a Westminster Kennel Club dog show. I love dogs. Dogs are great.
I've never missed one, but I watch it for a different reason than you. So really, what it boils down to is the cats and I will sit there and watch the Westminster Dog Kennel Show, and we will mock the dogs, the cats and I, as they come out.
You know your cats would eat you if you weren't on alert.
Of course they would. They're not stupid. They'd survive. If I was dead, I would be happy for them to consume me. That way I would live on in my cats. You know,
I thought you, I
dis-
thought you were gonna say that if your cats died, you would eat them.
no, I wouldn't. But destruction can,
That's because you actually care for your cats, and your cats
destruction,
don't care
sir.
for you.
To quote a famous man, destruction can be beautiful.
That's irrelevant. So what I'm saying is that your cats don't care about you.
That's not true.
No,
They
it's complete.
what they do care about is making fun of the dogs on that ridiculous show. Have you seen
Uh,
some of those poodles?
dogs are dogs are loving and wonderful creatures. Cats are just jerks.
No. Dogs are dumb. They're not loving. They're dumb. There's a difference.
I mean, I don't like what's happening right now.
Well, I'm sorry you don't like it. This isn't how I wanted to start the show with you back this way. I'm sorry that you like
Like
dogs.
I just came back. Like I'm here. I was happy to be here, and now here we are again arguing.
Well, what we should really
Any of this
focus on.
is any of this really necessary?
No. What we should really focus on is the fact that payroll doesn't know what he's talking about and needs to pay attention and know that sometimes things are out of our control and we get preempted.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I kind of feel bad for payroll because the cats they eat him too. That's how he ends up.
oh, wait.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Okay, he probably won't listen to the show anyway.
That's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, your cats eat him.
Really?
Yeah, in at least one reality, more than one. You'd be surprised how often.
I I kind of hope that I'm in that reality.
I mean, obviously you're in the reality. It's your cat.
No, but I mean this version of me is in that reality.
And you mean this is one of those? Yeah, I can't tell you which reality you're in. It's part of the rules, so that I can't share. I apologize.
Who makes up the rules?
Let's not talk about that. It's not here. Yeah, things. If we ever got to a point where we talked about that, things have gone poorly, and you're gonna need a lot more help than just me.
Really?
Let's move on. We're not here to talk
Dude,
about
dude.
cosmic.
Hey, did you hear that? Did you see that?
Hear what?
You didn't hear that.
No, I mean, not in the wavelength that you humans audibly typically hear things. I mean, I tune into a different frequency. Did you hear something?
Yeah, dude, you didn't hear. I don't know. There's a bunch of static and stuff going on. You didn't hear that?
I mean, yeah, but you're not supposed to hear that. That's why I'm asking you if you actually heard it.
Well, yeah, I heard it. What's going on?
This may not end well.
Wait, what do you mean?
Let's not worry about that for now. It's you know what? It's your 10th anniversary. Congratulations on 10 great episodes.
Oh, thank you.
Well, hold on. Congratulations on 10 episodes.
Was that necessary?
I feel yes, because otherwise people would have corrected us.
You're probably right. So, being that it's our 10th episode, I wasn't going to talk about this, but since we do have something to celebrate, it's a milestone episode. Big Red has contacted me. And yeah, so the thing is they're really impressed with the work we do in conjunction with them for the show. That a bunch of our fans are now drinking Big Red, and their sales have went up fractionally, like 0.00013%.
Are they really drinking it? I feel like these people just like saying Big Red.
Well, the numbers show that they're drinking it. Sales have increased marginally.
I mean, someone's drinking it, yes, but I would be shocked if any of these so-called listeners have ever had a Big Red.
Hey, are you gonna let me get to my news or not?
I'm sorry. I don't like poser Big Red fans.
So they contacted me, and you know how a lot of soda brands will do like a mystery flavor thing, or like when a new video game comes out, like there's Call of Duty Mountain Dew and stuff like that.
Sure.
Well,
Special can.
yeah. So Big Red approached me with possibly doing a DI Cable Guy flavor of Big Red. It would be a mystery flavor, but they want our fans to maybe make some recommendations of flavor combinations they might be interested in, and also naming it.
I can tell you one thing. I will not drink a DI Cable Guy flavored soda.
Why not? Why would you not drink a DI Cable Guy flavored soda?
There's not enough time on this podcast to go through that.
Come on. Like, what if, though, you offered a suggestion on a flavor and they accepted your suggestion?
Well, I wouldn't suggest that it tastes like you.
Well, no. That it's not going to taste like me.
You said a DI Cable Guy flavored soda.
If it was a me flavored soda, you'd get hair in your mouth. You'd be a hairball. It would just be a big old mess. It'd probably taste like old socks, mixed with Old Spice. I don't think anyone wants to drink that.
I feel like it would taste like sausage pizza with
sausage pizza with extra cheese is a good guess for my flavor, but it most likely would be a cheese sauce flavor if it tasted like me. But that's not when I say that is the flavor would capture the essence of our show, meaning big, bold, and very, very well received.
As long as it doesn't taste like you, I'm fine.
Yeah, it's not going to taste like me.
All right.
So anyway, if you're listening to the show, love to see in the comments what you would name the flavor of the soda for the show. And no, Payroll, it can't have anything to do with Kurt Angle.
I mean, it could.
No, it can't.
All right.
They've already said they're not willing to accept any comments from Payroll. They'll automatically be dismissed because it'll be a troll.
I mean, it might not be.
Well, it will be. Don't get your hopes up.
Yes, statistically speaking, yes, it's probably going to be, but there's a non-zero chance. There are no absolutes in the world except for everything that I know that is absolutely going to happen. But aside from those, it's kind of presumptuous of you.
So, did I ever tell you how hardcore I am?
I don't think I'm comfortable following this line of questioning.
I can't even wear glasses because I'm missing an ear. That's how hardcore I am.
I mean, was this some type of pizza slicing accident?
No. It was a cat accident.
It tried to eat you because you were asleep for a little bit too long.
Potentially.
Yeah. Cats look worse, man.
It's the cat that RKO'd me.
Yeah.
That's why I was in the hospital.
And the thing is, like, not all cats are terrible. It's just that most of them are, and there are some of them that are just, like, the worst creatures in the history of the world.
I'm not willing to accept that statement.
So, they're not all bad, but if you had a giant bucket of cats and you just stuck your hand in and grabbed one, chances are you would grab one that's a monster.
No.
Just saying.
That's just false, sir.
Dogs forever.
No.
You know what? I'd like
bang bang.
Stop that. I'd be interested to see if if we have a cat audience or a dog audience.
Yeah, leave your comments in the comments on if you are a cat person or a dog person. If you side with the evil Dr. Sparks or the wonderful Mherex.
Yeah. That way I know whose questions to not answer.
And I know whose questions to not answer.
Indeed.
Yes.
The battle lines have been drawn, sir.
They have. They have indeed. Who won Best in Show this past week, by the way?
That was a wonderful little Kofirspaniel.
A what?
A Kofirspaniel.
Is that like a Cocker Spaniel?
Wait. Oh, y'all don't have Kofirspaniels here. Sorry. It becomes tricky because, like I said, I watch all of the dog shows, not just the ones here. So I apologize for that. The Cofer Spaniel it's similar to a Cocker Spaniel, but you can't stop it. And the more dog shows it's in, it just gets stronger and stronger until it wins. And you really, there's no stopping it.
Cream of the crop!
Indeed. We haven't gotten there yet, but the Cofer Spaniel would be my number one pick for cream of the crop in the toy division.
Really?
Yeah.
And it won Best in Show.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well then.
I mean, with the caveat that the Puppy of Positivity is no longer allowed to compete.
You know, I've had enough of this, though. I think you need to shut your roll and know your mouth.
I don't think you did that right.
No, I did.
No. So, are we done?
No, we haven't even started the show yet. This is still the intro.
Oh, goodness. I feel like there's been a lot of nonsense so far.
I mean, have you listened to our show before?
No, I've been traveling space and time helping other people that also need help with their dumb little gem matching game.
Listen, this isn't a dumb little gem matching game. I take time out of my busy life and subject my family to the recording of this. You cannot see it, but my wife is to my left, also known as Mrs. Mherex, rolling her eyes.
Hi, Mrs. Mherex.
Oh, he says hi, Mrs. Mherex. She's deciding whether to acknowledge you or not.
Aw.
She just laughed and shook her head, so
Yeah.
I think, yeah, you got acknowledgement.
I'm wearing her down.
He says he's wearing you down. Oh, she says you don't like cats.
That's fine. She's not a cat.
He says that's fine. You're not a cat. She's furiously clicking, trying to do a raid, so I probably shouldn't distract her too much.
All right.
But yeah. So the family's all kind of subjected to this. The middle son's over there doing something on Discord, probably trolling if I know him.
No.
I think
that's going to be the, on the season finale, we're going to find out that Payroll was actually your son.
That's probably true. Payroll is probably my son trolling me on Discord, and I don't even know it.
That would be great.
What a plot twist.
Man. You should probably cut this out so we can use it later.
That's way too much work.
Will you learn how to cut at some point?
At some point, I'm sure I will learn how to cut and edit, but even if I do, the show would be worse for it.
I mean, I'm this far from switching over to Roberto, because at least he knows how to cut.
Wait, did you just make a reference to Jumping Ship for the Lounge podcast?
I mean, the man knows how to edit.
Yeah, but it's a bi-weekly show and it takes him 3 weeks to edit it.
but he knows how to edit. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is learn how to edit, dude. Come on, it's not that
Why?
hard.
Why you gotta be like? Why? Why? Hey, hey, why do you have to? Hey, yeah, I bet.
I
Did
wouldn't go to table.
did you just hear that? Did you see that? Did you hear it that time?
Wait, what?
It did it again.
You're really not supposed to be hearing these things. The fact that you're claiming one, I don't fully believe that you can hear it. But if you do, that doesn't bode well for this timeline.
What does that mean?
I'm sure you're just hearing things. Don't worry about it. It's probably nothing.
Okay.
So, anyways, to sum up, DI cable guy, thumbs up, round table, thumbs down.
Wait, I'm on that podcast too. So can we not like totally thumbs down it? Maybe just like thumbs sideways it?
I mean, there is a correlation with you being on bad podcasts.
That is a constant. Hey, take over the show for a minute. I'm thirsty. I need to grab something out of the fridge, okay? Keep the listeners occupied. We're not going to cut this out either. So, talk amongst yourself.
All right. So, yeah, I'm not sure what he's expecting from this. I mean, I could say anything. I could say that I'm the Queen of France. I mean, none of you know any different. For all you know, I am the Queen of France. You know, I'm not even sure if France has a queen anymore in this reality. I'll tell you what, though. One day, what was that? Sounded like...
I got my nice, delicious chilled beverage from the fridge.
Okay. I may or may not have told the listeners one of the avatars that I chose in one of the timelines that I've partaken in.
You know I'm going to listen to this back afterwards and hear everything you said, right?
Yeah, but what you hear isn't going to be what I actually said.
Listen, Dr. Sparks, I would rather hurt a man than love a woman, just so you know.
I'm not going to comment on that. I've been through enough
Bang bang.
Stop that. I've
Stop
been through
what?
enough social media movements to where, yeah, I'm not going to...
You know, I was going to grab this before the show started, and then I'm like, you know what? I think it would just be better to live go get myself a drink. I think it would be better for the show, so...
yeah. That's fine. No one missed you.
I believe you.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Okay. Do we have any other housekeeping we have to do before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show?
Not right now. I have something I got up my sleeve, but it's not time yet.
So before I actually have something I need to talk about.
All right.
And we didn't talk about this in our pregame talk or anything, so this is just gonna come right out of nowhere. Literally, we got to talk about Carmella before anything else, because I don't think we've talked about her enough. That sub is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say one of the first things that came out of my mouth on the show was how great subs are, and then you spent like 2 hours trying to say they weren't.
No, subs are terrible, but Carmella's really good.
Oh, interesting.
She can moonwalk, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't even have her 4-star gold move maxed yet, and she does 31,513 damage for 10 turns. That's a 310k sub, sir.
With boosts and whatnot.
That is with 9k Z-Brock, Austin 316 and Bella coaching.
Yep.
Even
So
without even without Bella, she's still doing 240K.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, at what is it, level 12? Yeah, I mean, without any buffs, it's 24K per turn.
That's just crazy.
So, yeah, subs are good.
No, Carmela's good.
If only someone had let you guys know.
Anyway, I had to get that off my chest because I'm sure we'll talk about stuff later, and I hate subs, but Carmela's really good.
Yep.
Sorry, that really had nothing to do with anything on the show. I just wanted to say to all of our listeners, take Carmela as far as you can this month while she's free.
Wait, have you not been telling people that?
I'm pretty sure I have.
Like, I can't take care of this and everything else. Like,
Well, get better.
I trust you.
Get better.
I trust you. I trust you to do some basic things while I'm gone. And getting people to actually level the free good character every month. I assume that would be something that you could at least take care of that.
Look, you don't understand these people. They're ungrateful and they're stubborn and they don't always listen.
Yeah, it's true.
For example, have you seen some of the feud lineups people bring?
Why? This is like cats all over again. Like, why? It feels like you're just trying to upset me in this episode.
Would I bait you?
I mean, yes.
That hurts.
No.
No, I mean, of course not. I would never do that.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's tricky. Like, people get used to doing things a certain way, and people fear change, and they would rather stick to their sticks and bushes. So when you try to present them with something new that's better for them, yeah, I mean, I can see how there might be some hesitation, but it's not like you don't do well and you're just telling them to do what you do. So you think they would see the correlation there, like, oh, this is what this guy does and he does all right, so maybe if I listen to him, I'll do all right too.
Yeah, but I think nah, that's not it.
Because I could see them not listening to you and not trusting you or believing you.
Yes.
Like that makes complete sense.
I agree with you for a change.
But I mean, most of the stuff that I present is just simple math. I mean, math has no feelings. It has no emotions. It doesn't pick sides. It is what it is.
It's hard to argue with it.
Yeah, I mean, anyways. So what are people messing up with feud rosters this time?
I mean, I don't know. Do we really want to get into that? It's just they're still taking too long. I had a bunch of people message me last feud like, bro.
I put a feud episode on the schedule. Did you not do the feud episode? You're supposed to do an episode where you tell people why they're not good at feuding. I
did do a feud prep video. I did it. I did what you said. It didn't work.
No, I mean not the prep video. Like, there was, I don't remember.
Oh, you mean the like do's and don'ts of feud, like the feud manifesto. I thought we were doing that together. I didn't do that.
There was an episode where you were supposed to go over why people suck at feuding.
Oh no, I did a show with that. No, I did a show. We did a show with that. It's
Yeah, okay, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I had that on the schedule when I left. Like, I put it on the fridge with the magnet because that one was a big deal. Like,
no, that got done. I forgot who my guest.
But you did that and they still suck?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you.
Come on, guys, make an effort.
I had a bunch of people message me like, dude, I'm in here 30 minutes and I was done after 5, and this person has like 30 guys and they're feuding with their lowest one. What's going on? And I said, I don't know. People are dumb? Question mark?
Wait. So you had people send you that message?
Yeah, a bunch of people messaged me like, dude, what the heck? Why are these people going slow?
All right.
And I
So
said maybe they didn't watch the video.
Yeah. So here's the problem. So it sounds like there were people who did listen to you, and the problem is maybe the people who didn't listen to you.
Yes.
So it reached an audience, but it sounds like your audience is still
Not
small
yeah.
and kind of laughable.
I wouldn't say laughable, but this is where we need your help. If you don't want people, and I mean the listeners, if you don't want people to feud poorly, you got to get them listening to the show. They don't know what they don't know.
You know, that's probably the most accurate thing you've ever said.
Thanks, I think.
No, it's true.
Listen, Dr. Sparks, I'm no expert, but I don't think I have any poontang to give you. Bang, bang.
I really hope all of this gets out of your system. This episode, this is the worst. Had I known this, I would have come back next week.
Why would you think that quite possibly the biggest Mick Foley mark in this game would be any different than this? Mistake.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but whatever.
Incidentally, thanks for that tip from the timeline, letting me know that there would be Mankind requirements this month. So my 4-star gold Mankind breezed through all the requirements. It was rather nice.
No. Like I said, I can't really tell you what's going to happen in this reality, but sometimes I can give you general information that may or may not be applicable to this reality. So I'm glad that one worked out for you.
That was nice.
I mean, no one listened to me when I tried to give them subtle hints about Junkyard Dog.
You did, and man, you nailed that one.
So, anyways, I think we're kind of beating a dead horse with the whole people don't listen. So
yeah, you know. Some people, I want you to know, some people do. I saw mention of the button several times. I heard a lot of big red buzz this week. I kind of hinted at the return of an old guest, and people were excited, although they weren't excited for you.
Yeah, and so that is one thing in every timeline. Dr. Beth is a big hit. I mean, she is just a lovely woman.
She really is. My all-time favorite guest, to be honest.
Yeah. So that's actually not a surprise at all. Like, that happens literally in every single permutation.
I don't want you to feel bad though, because
no, fine.
You're underappreciated. You do a lot of work in a lot of places, and most of it's unseen, and people don't appreciate you enough, myself included.
No, which is fine. I don't do it for you people.
Wait, who do you do it for?
It's not important.
Okay. I guess, do we want to unveil kind of the thing we've been teasing off and on? Do we want to do that now? Should we do that now?
Don't you want to talk about your stupid Mr. Sacco?
I do want to talk about Mr. Sacco.
We'll talk about Mr. Sacco. Quit beating around. I want you to get all of this out of your system.
But
so that we
no. That's coming later. I got a whole section where I get to talk about Mr. Sacco.
I mean,
if you want me to do it twice, I can.
No, I didn't. You shouldn't talk about him per se. I thought you were just gonna talk about how you got him and you're very happy and how you went about getting him, etc. We have a whole way. We have segues, dude. Like, read the show notes. Come on.
I got the notes in front of me, but they don't say anything about me acquiring my favorite wrestler to segue smoothly into the next topic. I just was going to throw it out there. I felt like we made him wait long enough, but okay. So yeah, they released another version of Foley, Mr. Sacco, who I got.
I wish it had just literally been a sock, though. Like a giant, oversized sock.
I think maybe they're saving that for, what was his name, Santino? With his Cobra.
The Cobra. Yeah. That'd be a good tag link.
The Cobra and sock.
The hand puppet tag link.
I could get behind that.
Yeah. Sorry. So I interrupted. Keep going.
No, it's fine. They released him. Technician happened to be my worst class. It's no longer my worst class. And
Technician is probably a lot of people's worst class.
Yeah. I would say now Trickster's maybe my worst class, question mark? But it doesn't matter. It did require a loosening of the purse strings to acquire him.
Uh-huh.
But I am okay with it. And I was happy to do so. And very strong character. Animations are awesome. Couple viable move sets. And I finally have a top tier of my favorite wrestler of all time. So that's pretty dang cool, actually.
So
Also,
now, I was gonna say now that you have him already, I can go ahead and mention this. You are in one of the very few realities where, for some reason, the mandible claw is not a submission.
that was an interesting choice. And as someone who hates subs, I think that's what is the difference in why Sacco's top tier.
Interesting. Because in all the other realities, he's actually even better. But whatever. I'm glad.
That hurts, dude. That hurts.
I'm glad. I didn't say he's not good. All I said was that in other realities, he's even better. And in some realities, he's just a giant sock.
Like a boa constrictor kind of giant sock, or just like a lifeless pile of sock?
No, so imagine when he puts his hand up, there's a sock, and it has a little face on it, and it has like the general shape of a hand. You can tell there's a hand in there. So just pretend the rest of his body wasn't there, and
It was
you just had
a giant hand sock?
yeah, it's great.
That sounds terrifying.
No, the kids love it. They dress up like it on Halloween. So like instead of ghosts, they put on a sheet and they like
They're Mr.
paint it.
Sacco?
Yeah, they're Mr. Sacco for Halloween.
That actually sounds amazing.
Yeah, told you.
Anyway, very excited. The move animations are sweet. The bleed is amazingly strong. 2 viable move sets. One of the hardest finishers in the game. Just awesome. Awesome. Also, in the pursuit of Sacco, I also got Tech Becky. So that was that was very nice. Very, very nice.
I'm very happy for you. I know how into Mrs. Foley's baby boy you are. So congratulations.
True facts. Thank you. Thank you very much. So yeah, I think quite possibly he could topple Kofi as the best tech.
Oh, that's yet to be determined, sir.
Is it?
I think see how nicely that worked out. So I think now would be a good time to
Segue?
present. Yes, to present something I'm very proud of, and this is what I kind of have some extra information up my sleeve about. But
Cream of the crop.
Yes, I'll let you go ahead and present it, and then I'll have my announcement.
Okay. So, the DI Cable Guy Show, in conjunction
Uh-huh.
with Big Red is proud to bring you guys the very first Cream of the Crop Invitational.
So I can take that one step further. I'm very proud to announce that not only is it the very first Cream of the Crop Invitational, it is officially the Randy Mario Poffo Cream of the Crop Invitational.
No.
Yes.
How did we get that licensing?
I mean, I know a guy that knows a guy that stopped the universe from imploding.
All right.
So here we are. So yeah, the RMP, as because I don't trust that you're going to be able to say Randy
No.
Mario Poffo.
Yeah, RMP Cream of the Crop Invitational. All right. That's big news. I didn't even know that.
Yep. Yep.
So,
I helped, but here we are.
um,
Word to Randy Poffo.
yes, the Cream of the Crop Invitational, where 32 superstars enter and one rises to the top. Who will rise to the top? That is yet to be determined. Rules. What are there rules? Do we have rules? Hold on. This Cream of the Crop Invitational is sponsored by Big Red. It's delicious.
It really is. That's another constant across all planes of existence. So you can rely on Dr. Beth being a big hit, and you can rely on Doctor. Oh yeah, sorry, you guys haven't had Dr. Red yet.
What? What's
yeah,
Dr.
sorry.
Red?
Sorry. Don't worry about it. So, Dr. Beth is a big hit. Big Red is delicious, and pretend you didn't hear me mention Dr. Red.
I don't know if I can let that go.
I mean, you can choose not to let it go, but I'm not going to talk about it anymore.
Okay. So it's our show, so our rules for this bracket. Which
Yeah, so-
which
Go
will
ahead.
be which will be subject to change, like everything in this game. I just want to throw that out there.
Sure, especially if there's a dog show somewhere in the universe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so rules. The first rule that I would like to lay down is no Hall of Fame characters.
Okay. I can get behind that. They're super rare and they're very expensive and not very many people have them, and the new ones coming out almost no one has. So, yeah, let's just not include Hall of Fame characters. I agree.
So, what about you? Do you have any? You got any rules you want to bump
Well,
in there?
soft rule, I think, is we're going to pick 5 from each class, although we may change that if we feel like it. That
Okay.
gives us 30. And we're going to have 2 wild cards who we have not decided yet how they will be picked. So 2 wild cards for a total of 32 superstars. And it's going to be tournament style. And at the end, there will be one that rises to the top over the rest. And he will be crowned the very first annual DI Cable Guy Cream of the Crop Invitational winner. Sorry. RMP Cream of the Crop Invitational winner.
There you go. Very good. You almost screwed up literally the very first time that you had a chance to screw it up.
So, Mrs. Mherex says, why does it have to be annual?
I never said it was going to be annual. I feel like you just completely made that up right now.
Well, a lot can change in a year. So, if we do it annually, that could kind of be whatever we think when the game's changed enough, when there's more 5 stars, whatever. It just gives us leeway to do a Cream of the Crop whenever we want.
Yeah, I mean, assume that it will be annual unless it's not.
Exactly.
So
Because,
that I can stand behind.
yeah. it might be preempted by the Westminster Dog Show.
Yep.
So yeah, we're gonna.
It almost certainly will, but
Yeah. So we're gonna debate, argue, fight, etc. about the guys from each class we want on the list, and they'll be on the list, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it.
yeah. And I mean, I'd like to think that we'll also agree on some things.
Oh, I'm sure we'll agree on some things, like subs are terrible, and we shouldn't include any character with a sub.
Let's get started. What class do you want to start with?
Well, I mean, I think it's obvious the class we're going to start with. No? Yes.
Acros?
Why would we start with acros? Have we even talked about an acro this whole show?
I mean,
You're the one that was going on and on about proper segue and setup and blah, 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 blah.
I mean, we've talked about acros. We haven't had a full acro episode because I didn't put it on the list, but
Why
I'll
you
make
hate
a new list.
Why
I'll
you
make
hate
a new
it?
list.
Why you hate
It'll be fun.
X-Pac?
It'll be fun.
Why you hate X-Pac?
Because he's not triple tour.
That's a fact. Triple Tour is a boss.
Anyways, but we'll yeah, I'll make a new list. I'll put acros on the list somewhere. We'll make a new lesson plan for the next 10 weeks.
Dude, it did it again. It's doing it again. What is going on?
That just everything will be fine. You and your family will all be okay.
What does that mean?
That means everything will be fine. I don't see. Since when is that a bad thing?
No, people only say it'll be fine when it won't be fine.
Well, that's stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
Why would you say that it's going to be fine if it's not going to be fine?
Because you're a liar?
I'm not a liar. I can see how people might be liars, but not me.
That's yet to be determined, sir.
Oh.
Okay, so.
Acros.
No.
Oh. I thought that was the whole point of this conversation.
We were talking about Sako, technician.
Oh, so you want to do text?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
You're the guest. So
No, yeah, it's fine.
I think it's only fair that you go first.
Kofi, final answer.
What? You can't just you cannot just say Kofi final answer and that's it.
Well, I was going to say that is my first nominee.
Okay. Why?
Oh. Wait, you want to know why? Like, really? All right.
I mean,
So-
isn't that the point of this?
So I didn't. Are there people that don't know the amazingness that is Kofi?
I don't have Kofi. Maybe I haven't
Well,
looked him up.
But that doesn't mean that you don't know that he's amazing.
I mean, he's okay. He's not Sako.
All right, Kofi. So, Kofi is the inevitable destroyer of worlds. He hunts you, and he will find you. It's what he does. It is all that he does, and he will not stop until you are dead. I mean, he has a one charge move. You're not going to stop that. And that's going to create greens. He has a 3 charge move, which is ridiculous because it only costs 3, that increases gem damage on his greens by 125%. So more than double. And it does it for 4 turns. And it stacks. So literally, he just gets stronger and stronger. He's like the Kofirspaniel. Like, I had never thought about that. They're actually strikingly similar. So yeah, he just gets stronger and stronger until your opponent is a small pile of quivering dust, and then you move on to the next one. I mean,
Is there anything he's not good at?
I'll tell you what, he doesn't have a sub.
Okay, so he definitely belongs on the list then.
So yeah, he's fast, he's strong. With the now with the game change transitioning towards metals, I mean, you put metals on him, he's even stronger. Like he is a problem in every sense of the world. Unless you're the one using him, then it's quite enjoyable.
Yeah,
It's like a delightful walk during a spring day.
I will say the only way that I want to tackle Kofi is assuming I, on turn 1, can use Dango's finisher. If I can do that, I'm not scared. But if I cannot do that, and I know it's going to take me a turn or two, even if it's one turn, Kofi can be terrifying because you can run into those people that have like 95% gem damage reduction, and they hit a big cascade, and you can't get out on turn 1.
Yep.
So
Kofi will accidentally win on turn 1. He will a lot of times win on turn 2, and you're almost never going to get past turn 3 with him. Now, again, this is in the hands of a human. Obviously, in AI, they might not prioritize blues, which would be a mistake. So with Kofi, what you want to do is, you would think you would want to prioritize green, but no. What you want is blues. So
Sure.
You want to match with blue every turn if possible to keep the stack going and going and going. And then just let the one charge move do its thing, because it's going to do it. There's no stopping it. And then, yeah, just use the finisher to recycle to get more blues, and make sure you have enough blues to use the damage stack again and grab as many greens as you can along the way. So yeah, that moveset is inevitable. And if you want to just do a quick thing, I mean, he has a double blue build where you just, let me double my green damage and break a bunch of greens and charge my finisher. So I mean, there's a couple ways to use them. Oh, and he also has the audacity to steal green MP if you wanted to for some reason. Kofi, man.
Okay.
Kofi's great.
I'll allow Kofi on the tech list. I have no issues with that, no arguments.
How benevolent of you.
I'm not saying he's the best, the cream of the crop. Cream of the crop, if you will. But I do think he deserves to be on the list and in the discussion. So.
And one thing to note is, remember, we're picking... Right now, we're only focusing on tech, but eventually all of the classes are going to be battling each other.
Yes.
So there will be one winner.
There will.
And it's probably going to be Ken Shamrock, but I'm just saying, there's only going to be one.
It's definitely not going to be your Kofi. I'm going to go on a limb and say it won't be anyone you pick.
Seems hurtful.
Yeah, you probably won't even be on the show when we pick the winner, so I'll just make sure yours doesn't get it.
When's Dr. Beth going to be back?
I don't know. Everyone's already asking that. I don't even know if I can get Dr. Beth again. She was the most popular guest I've ever had.
Yeah. And wasn't that an affirmative action guest?
Yeah. I was required, but it was not a hardship for me.
Interesting. I thought you were actually going to deny that. Interesting move, just being open about it. I respect that.
Yeah, no, like I said, best guest that I've ever had.
So, do I have to sell Kofi anymore? What more do you want?
No. You can. That'll stand.
All right.
That'll do, Pig. That'll do.
Yes. Baremu. That's little known fact. That's actually where Kofi went to university.
Wait, he's not from Jamaica?
No.
You're telling me that was a work?
No. I'm just telling you he's not from Jamaica.
Okay.
And why do you...
What? Hello? I think we lost Dr. Sparks. We definitely lost Dr. Sparks. Are you back, sir?
Oh, goodness. Did it happen?
It happened.
This is not good. What was happening in this timeline when I lost contact?
I can't remember anything from the past 5 minutes. I don't know if that's by design or if I need to be concerned. Should I be going to the doctor?
Everything, Mherex, you and your family will be fine. I promise.
You keep saying that.
I promise. So, try real hard. What is the last thing you remember me saying? It's very vital that you tell me exactly what it was.
I can't handle this pressure. I really don't listen to you very much, so
Well, we're screwed. Thanks. Like,
don't blame me for this. It's your fault.
I mean,
listen, I kept the audio going, so we can always listen to it back and find out the information you need.
no, but it doesn't work like that. I'm just whatever. Let's just keep going because
Okay.
This reality is screwed. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if this, by any chance, are you guys in a pandemic right now?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys are screwed. Anyways, let's keep going.
Okay, so I think it's my turn to pick a tech.
Well, hold on. Just to be clear, are you under the impression that there aren't universities in Jamaica?
No.
Because that's what it seemed like.
No. Kofi, when he came into the WWE, faked like he had a Jamaican accent. It was a work. He's not from Jamaica.
Yeah, but I wasn't talking about Jamaica at all. I was talking about where he went to university. And then suddenly you brought up...
I don't like what you're trying to do.
I mean, I'm talking about him going to university. You bring up... Oh, so he's not Jamaican? By the transitive property, you're implying that there are no universities in Jamaica.
That makes no sense. There has to be. I don't know. I've never been there, but one would assume.
Yes, there are universities in Jamaica, dude. Come on.
Yeah, of course.
But anyways, no, he is not from Jamaica. Yes, he did go to university, and the name of that university was Bahram U.
Where's that at?
I believe it's in Ghana.
Ah. Is it?
Anyways.
Yeah. Okay, Kofi.
Enough about Kofi.
Yeah.
He's great.
He is good. But is he the best? Only time will tell. Okay, so my turn.
Sure.
I'll give you one guess who I'm going to go with.
Mr. Perfect?
No. What?
No.
Really?
You always talk about how great Mr. Perfect is.
Well, I do like Mr. Perfect. I don't know if he's great, but I like him. We're good friends in another timeline. So, I'm going to go with I'm going to nominate Mr. Sacco. And
which one? The guy holding the sock or the actual sock?
The guy holding the sock.
Because his name isn't Mr. Sacco. Mr. Sacco is the actual sock.
I'm nominating Mankind. In small green letters, Mr. Sacco.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's ridiculous that they would call the character Mr. Sacco because that wasn't his name. that was the sock on his hand. That's why in all the other timelines, it's an actual sock, because that makes sense.
Are you gonna ruin this for me?
I'm not ruining it for you. I'm just pointing out that
Are you really gonna
you
do
guys
this?
really screwed the pooch while I was gone.
You're really gonna ruin this for me?
No, it's fine. I'm disappointed with the way that this world turned out. I walked away. I was gone for a couple of weeks, and this is what I come back to. So, Mr. Sacco, the Mr. Sacco labeled mankind.
The technician mankind.
Yes.
That's my nomination.
All right, now it's your turn. Why is he so great?
He's got a groin kick,
No.
which looks awesome. He puts people in the tree of woe, which looks awesome. Two-handed bulldog, which looks awesome. Running knee lift, which also looks awesome. And mandible claw, which is sick.
I feel like you just described a chubby man doing not very athletic feats.
Correct.
Okay.
But they all look awesome. They all look awesome.
Just making sure.
Okay, so he's got a 1 MP move. That's a choose 1x2 area to swap into yellow gems. At 5-star, it's a 1x3. 1 MP for a 1x3. You're always getting at least a 4 match, a lot of times a 5. Super strong. You can't, it's every turn, you can't stop it. Right? Similar to Kofi.
Yeah.
Not without the gem damage. But where he gets really interesting is his 8 MP yellow move, which is a 2-turn bleed, which at my level, 4-star bronze, does 66k per tick. Yep. You're gonna, and my Seth needs to go up a little bit more, so I'm not doing max on that. So we're talking about 70k a tick. I think if you have Kyrie, you're over 80 at 4-star bronze, 80k.
No one has Kyrie.
Yeah, I don't. She doesn't exist in this timeline. But so you can't really stop the bleed. There's only one thing that can stop it. That's an NWO strap that a few people might have. So super situational. Gems aren't going to stop the bleed. You know, any of that stuff, and it's going to happen. Some turns you can get it out twice in a turn. Pretty crazy. That's just one set. The other set is the botch gem finisher, and you're dealing like 9k at 4-star bronze per botch gem. The move before, you're choosing 4 columns to turn into botches, so very, very strong. The only downside is it's a finisher, so it does end your turn. So that moveset's a little bit slower, but when you land it, it's game over, lights out. He has a purple move that's a choose green, so that can feed the greens. I happen to like the bleed set, but 2 very viable sets. He's going to scale super well into 5-star bronze and well beyond with the moveset he has, so very future-proof. Can do a lot with him. A lot of interesting setups. Super strong, super powerful. Scales great. Straps, gems aren't going to affect him. And he's going to do what he does without an MP trainer, which is very rare and very nice. So very similar to Kofi, actually. I would say their playstyles are actually a lot alike, even if they use a different mechanic. Very, very similar in what they do. I kind of look at Sacco as a better Booker T Hall of Fame, actually. He's a better Booker T, very similar to that style too. No MP trainer, deal a ton of damage every turn, you know. So yeah, but there are trainers and coaches that can nerf power gems. So nothing that nerfs bleeds as of this point. So yeah, have I sold him for you?
Yeah, I didn't disagree at any point. You're the irrational one in this relationship.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's been said, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
Yes.
So never has that been embodied more than by this man named after his sock.
Yes. And he does it with flair and panache. It looks amazing while he's killing you.
Allegedly.
No, it looks amazing.
I will say I like his tie.
He looks really cool. He's just a fun character. The animations are fun. He's my favorite. The only thing that looks kind of weird is I'm not a fan of his boots. They look kind of funny.
Yeah. They're kind of bubbly, maybe a little too shiny.
Yeah. I do like that they did not make him like super ripped looking like they did in a lot of his other animations, you know, cuz Mankind was never...
Yeah, I made the mistake of using the Santa Claus Mankind, thinking that it was going to be a happy little fat man doing wrestling moves, and instead this genetic jackhammer comes out, and it ruined everything for me. I immediately changed the costume back.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, he looked like Attitude Era Vince McMahon. He was ripped.
Okay, so I think it's safe to say neither of us have an argument for our top two nominations not being in there. We both think they deserve to be in there.
Yeah. So, my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, you talked about how this guy is your favorite. I'm going to bring up a guy that I'm going to venture to say is not your favorite. I would like to bring up a gentleman by the name of Doink.
Too soon.
Well, this isn't in any order.
I know.
I'm not saying I think he's the second best tech. But let me qualify this. So the way that I am going to make these nominations, it's going to be based on how useful I perceive these people to be. So we've talked a lot about how, you know, you have people that are good in feud, people that are good in showdown, people that are good for tours, etc., 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 and that you gotta, you know, build the right people for the right modes, and that the people that are useful in multiple things are going to be more valuable. And that is where Doink comes in. And I'm sure a lot of people are probably disagreeing with me right now, but the asterisk that I'm putting on Doink is that you shouldn't be using the moveset that everybody uses.
Okay. I'm listening.
So the most common moveset that people use with Doink, the reason people typically like Doink is because of how well he recycles. So they use the two purples and the green, and those just all feed into each other, and yeah, it's a party. The problem with that is that they all cost 9.
Yes.
So in the time that it takes for Doink to get to 9 MP,
he's dead.
And even think about doing something, like Kofi is already picking the next person
Yes.
that he's going to beat after he's already beaten Doink.
Yes.
So, what...
I actually like where you're going with this, by the way. I feel like this moveset in particular never gets talked about for Doink that you're talking about, and gives him a lot more viability. So, continue.
So, what I would like people to start doing with their Doinks, because it's going to make him way more useful, and I think makes him one of the most useful techs, is he has a 6 cost submission. It is a blue. So if you have, so at 4-star gold, it does 4 turns. If you have Eddie Guerrero, obviously you can buff that, get it up to 7 turns. But the thing with him is that it only costs 6. The difference between 6 and 9 is huge
Oh yeah.
across multiple gameplays. So in Showdown, if you wanted to use him in the front, again, typically we wouldn't recommend using a submission guy in the front because, yeah, by the time you're getting ready to beat the guy, he's just going to tag the next guy in. So it's just a waste of time. But yeah, having a 6 move is a lot better than having a 9 move because you're actually going to do some things. So yeah, if let's say that's who you had and you had to use them, probably not the worst thing you could do. So Showdown, still viable. Definitely not top tier Showdown, but still usable. Whereas I feel like his regular build is unusable unless you're using him as a hot tag. So
Yeah, then
Showdown.
even if you're using him as a hot tag, there's better hot tag options though. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean powerhouses and strikers.
right.
So Showdown, useful. Feud. So I left you an entire page of notes so that you could tell the people how useful a turn 1 sub guy is in feuds. So you don't need a ton, you just need the one. So in your lineup you put that in and suddenly you don't have to worry about any of the stuff that typically you would worry about. You know, all these people that are going to ruin your life turn 1. Nah. Use your sub, take all of their MP, and then now you just have a normal match and you're ahead because you've taken a bunch of their health away. So, sub, feud, very useful. It's going to be ready turn 1, so useful in feud. Tours. So, this is where you will say that you actually take everything back and that for tours, you're all about people with subs. So his sub is so cheap. Again, you talk about with perks, yeah, turn 1 sub ready to go. So having such a cheap sub by itself, very useful. I haven't even talked about the other moves yet. So the build that I want you guys to use is with your blue submission. He has another blue, which is also going to be ready turn 1, both in feud and in tours if you have the perks. This one only costs 7. So what that one does is it creates random purple gems. So yeah, it's not a choose move, so it's not as overpowered as it could be, but it's also not a specific color. So you're never going to get screwed. There's never going to be just one gem on the board. You're always going to create those extra purple gems. And you want those purple gems on the board because with your other move, you're going to use the choose destroy move. Now, the thing that's really going to put Doink over the top is if you have Bradshaw. So with Bradshaw, you're going to destroy 4 extra gems. So that purple move is going to destroy 7 gems. And as I mentioned already, your other 2 blue moves cost 6 and 7. So with your purple, it's going to completely refill your blue. Or if you don't have that many blues on, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Go for damage, go for cascades, try to take away your opponent's colors, you know, whatever suits your needs. But yeah, it's basically the playstyle is exactly the same as Edge. And I don't think anyone would argue that Edge isn't good. So with Doink, if you're using this playstyle, if you happen to have Bradshaw, I honestly really do think he is one of the absolute best techs in the game. But you have to use him completely differently than what everyone is probably using. So that is my tirade on Doink. Doink forever.
So all of that's really good info. Be honest, in the middle of that somewhere I snoozed off. Because in the end, clown. So everything you said invalid.
That's not how things work.
No, it is. He's a clown, so it's all invalid.
It's a very cat mindset.
That's why cats forever.
Anyways,
so he is very useful. A lot of people have access to him. If you're lacking like the upper echelon super rare techs, he is most certainly your best tech, like no question. I actually really do like the blue set. If you don't have Bradshaw, still very good with Jimmy, but Jimmy is not the easiest character to have, although he's much more common than he used to be. Still not the easiest to get. If you're lucky enough to have Bradshaw, though, that's very strong moveset. Super easy to recycle. Like you said, really, really good for tours. There's no way with this moveset you're going to lose in tours, honestly. Showdown, serviceable, not great. And then feud, pretty strong, actually.
yeah.
With a lot of options. Not super fast, but you don't like we've talked about. When you face someone that's a problem, you need a solution for that problem. He potentially can be that solution. So overall, top to bottom, there's a lot to like about him. So I understand why you said something about him. I wasn't going to say anything about him. So a lot of good information there. I don't know that I would put him on my top 5 techs. However, I think he's definitely worth talking about, and you brought up a ton of good points.
So, what is your next nominee, sir?
Ooh. We start getting down to it now, because I have 5 if I was going to pick my top 5 techs, Doink wouldn't be on there. But I would.
Well, yeah, that's because all 5 of them would be Sako.
Yes. You're not wrong. But a case could be made for him being in the top 5, which you made a very compelling case, but clown, so invalid. Somebody I like would be left off the list if we stop at 5. So we probably have to go 6 or 7 to get all of my guys on the list. So it's hard to decide who I would pick next. I honestly cannot talk enough about him to pick who I think is probably the 3rd best tech. And then I think if you're asking me, I would say it's probably Gargano, but I don't have him, haven't watched enough video to make a case for it. He has a 2 MP move that's basically like Drew's 8 MP move. It does crazy damage with a great tag link with Ciampa. So I would probably pick him as the 3rd best, but I am going to go with the Wolfpack Sting. Everyone technically has access to him. You don't need to pay for him. It might take you a really long time. If you started from the beginning, you should already have him or very close. If you didn't start at the beginning, his shards show up way not often enough now. They need to show up more often. That's something that needs to be fixed. But the Wolfpack Sting is incredibly strong, and pretty much with one moveset in particular, it's almost impossible for him to lose, like legitimately. And I'm sure you know the moveset I'm going to pick, and I know you'll like this particular nomination. You would probably pick him next for your tech, I would bet, based on, his movesets and what he does.
Yeah, actually, I can confirm I would indeed pick him next if it was my turn.
So I just happen to like him a lot, so I'm going to go with him because I think there's he just, right here, I brought it up on my screen, you can see the moveset. The one slight thing is I wish this bulldog, if this bulldog was 7 MP, I would maybe argue he was the second best. Probably not, though. It just would make things a little bit easier. Basically, you hit the bulldog, you get to the scorpion deathlock, you sub him to death, and then you hit the finisher, and you start all over again. You can turn one him in feud using Beth and Akam, or is it Shamrock in Akam? He can turn one in feud and hit that bulldog, and then get right into the sub. Pronounce what?
It's pronounced Enzo.
Right, Fat Enzo. You can leave Bray on him and, go turn 2 with Akam, get a yellow match, and that sub, you're going to do 8 turns. This is assuming you have Bruno. You're going to do 8 turns at 12k a turn, so almost 100k damage, and he leaves huge heal gems on the board, up to 5 of them, that heal you for 15k each one. Then you drop the finisher, and you start the yellows all over again. You basically never lose with that moveset. Like, it's pretty much impossible to lose. Most of the time you finish full life. There's a tour last month, I think, the Attitude Tour. I went through Hell Mode with this moveset and finished at full life. Like, completely full life. So that's how strong that moveset is. And it does that pretty much in every mode. Showdown, he's going to be too slow. But you could hot tag him in. And he's got 3 actual viable movesets, easily, maybe even 4. But anyway, I don't really need to get into them, but you could run him to both yellows and either the green sub or the green finisher. I kind of like having the bulldog and the scorpion death drop as a constant, just because then you're going to always recycle. So super good, super strong. He's going to scale really well, and he simply isn't going to lose. Once you start, there's no one that they're not going to be able to get back ahead. So that would be my argument for Sting. Plus there's a bunch of other movesets. He can go faster, take a little more damage. The double yellow green finisher recycles super well, steals health a little bit faster because you're not hitting the brakes with the sub, but not as strong, or not as powerful, I guess is a different way of saying it. Anything else you want to add? You want to... I will say one other thing too, actually. This move right here, his 1 MP that makes random red gems into green, is pretty cool if you're facing anyone that needs reds. It chews up the reds and makes it really hard for them to get a red match, so that has some utility too.
Almost like a baby Kofi.
Kind of, yeah.
No, I don't really have anything more to add. I mean, I think Sting is super good. Like you said, I like him. He's got a lot of things that I like in a character. The fact that he heals himself also gives him extra utility, which is actually currently what I have him. I just have him at level 1 because it makes blitzes super easy. Right, and we've talked about this a couple times. 4-star characters with their moves leveled, but their actual level staying at level 1 are going to be the best thing that you can do for making blitzes easy.
Yeah, they're crazy good.
So I will probably level him eventually. But right now, yeah, I have his moves leveled, but I don't have him leveled up because he's just kind of a luxury there in case I ever get to a blitz where maybe I have to use a technician or I have to use something that he feels a requirement, and then he can make that blitz easy. But nothing to contradict any of what you said. Wolfpack Sting is super good.
Okay.
Here is now where things get tricky. So most people will probably say, no, no. Why is it tricky? You haven't said Aleister Black yet, and he's the best tag, isn't he?
No, no, he's not. I think you and I are kind of on the same page with this one. I prefer the other two guys, the DIY guys, Gargano and Champa over Black. Either one.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing, Black, he's really good. Don't
Yes.
get me wrong. I'm not. We're not trying to say he's not good. Um, but at least for, I mean, the play style that um I would like and kind of how you would use him. To me, he's right there on that cusp. So I'm not gonna go as far as to say that he's not my fifth guy, but he's not slam dunk my fifth guy. So he has some issues, obviously, much like the Doink build that I want people to stop using. It's very hard to control the pin situation with him. So you're basically, yeah, you're going to keep doing moves, but then you're going to cause a pin, and sometimes you may cause pins when you don't want them to. And you were, with now with metals, people are running more things to completely stop gem damage. And unlike Kofi, he doesn't double his gem damage every turn.
Yeah, he can't get around the. If somebody's armored up, he can't really get around that.
Now, he does have, obviously, he has a submission,
Mm-hmm.
so you could go that route. He has cheap bleed, so that's another route. Um, so because of those other move sets, I do actually like the utility that you get with him, which is why I have him probably close to number five, maybe even number five. Um, but it's not as clear cut as maybe some people would think. So what do you? That's kind of where I fall with Aleister Black. What do you
So
think? I don't.
I would actually.
Also another negative is that every time I say his name, it's very difficult for me not to say Alex Trebek.
I think you do, Trebek. Yeah, no, Black. So my list, probably in this order, but not necessarily, would be Sako and Kofi, very, very close. But I'm a mark, so I'm going to say Sako. I do think he's better, but I also don't have Kofi, and it would be insanely close. So I think they're 1 and 1A regardless. You can switch the order, that's fine. And then the next three for me would be Gargano, Champa, and Sting. It would be tough to pick the order. Probably Sting because of the reasons I said, but it would be tough to pick the order. And then Black would be number 6 for me, even with Doink, probably, as much as I hate to say that. They would both be right there at 6 for me. So if we have to, so let's just, for argument's sake, I pick 2, you pick 2. We have 1 left to pick. So let's say we're gonna leave Sako, Kofi, Sting, and Doink,
Yeah.
in there. I know you're happy about that. Whatever. He won't win the cream of the crop. It's fine. He can get in there. We have to pick one more. This is a class that I think potentially could end up with a wild card pick. I don't know. There's a long way to go. So we got 3 names, right? Gargano, Champa, Black. Would you agree that that would be one of those 3 for the 5th?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about kind of what we like and we don't like about Black.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to kind of do similar for the other 2.
Sure.
So, Jonathan Gargano is my heart. You know this.
Yes.
So, but unlike you, and unlike some people, I'm not just gonna blindly say that someone is the best because I think highly of him as a performer. So, Gargano, I think, is amazing, but that doesn't mean I think he's the best tech. So, things that I don't like about Gargano. So, that 2 MP move is great, obviously. It's basically inevitable damage in inevitable. Inevitable damage that is inevitable. But yeah, you're gonna get that. It's gonna always hit you, and you've mentioned that it gets buffed by things where you would buff your green gem damage, but it doesn't get debuffed by metals, which is
Yes.
a nice little asterisk to have on a guy.
One.
So the two MP move, I love, and it's the roll up kick. I mean, one of the things that I really wish they would do is there are a lot of guys that have certain moves, and I wish I could pick players' animations separately from their moves. Because when I use Randy Orton, I want to use vintage.
Of
There,
course.
yeah, there are people who I want to use their animation, but I don't want to use that move. This is a case where it's a move I actually do want to use, and it's a useful move. So points for that. Now, where kind of he falls off a little bit for me is that he has a sub, obviously, very good. It leaves X break gems, very powerful. He has a way to destroy those X break gems, also very good. Um, that costs less than the submission itself, so when the submission is done, the choose destroy is going to be ready. So right away, cause a lot of board damage, refill a lot of your moves, and you're using submission, so you're slowing the person down while you're accelerating yourself, all while doing that green move that's just buffing damage over and over and over again. So yes, very good. And once it gets rolling, it's a party. The only thing that I don't like is that those 2 moves cost 9 and 11. So for me, that makes him just a little bit too slow for Showdown. Obviously, the tag link with Champa is even more ridiculous, because isn't it like
300% greens.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3,000%.
Yeah, that 2 MP move. One of my buddies that has him, I think it's 18k per green gem or some crazy number like that. I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah. So if you had both of them, then yeah, suddenly in Showdown, maybe you're not so worried about the fact that it costs 9, because you're going to be doing belligerent amounts of damage on the way there.
Honestly, I would probably Showdown just start with Champa, hit the silence gems, turn the silence gems to green, fill Gargano up, tag him in, do his thing.
Yeah. So that is a reason why I kind of, and again, this is all nitpicking, I kind of like Ciampa a little bit more than Gargano when it comes to the character in WWE Champions. In real life, Gargano forever. But in terms of in the game, because of exactly what you just said, where you're using those silence gems to really delay your opponent, and then you have a move to accelerate and get to the finisher faster. I just think Ciampa gives you a little bit more to where you can speed things up while slowing your opponent down, whereas Jonathan just a tickle slow for me. So if I had to pick between those two, I would probably have Ciampa slightly above and Gargano slightly below, but I think they're both really good. Do you have Ciampa?
I do. I have him 4-star gold.
Um, Do you also love Champa?
So before,
I'm talking about your man love at this point.
no, I know. Before I
Okay.
got Sako, he was who I was going to take to 5-star. I think some ways Wolfpack Sting is better, but also I think Champa has a lot of untapped potential. I feel like the 5-star game is going to be really, really good for him. I know we're not necessarily doing this list on 5-star because we don't honestly.
Yes, that's another
Yeah,
asterisk we didn't mention.
this
So
is
this is
not a
based on
5-star cream of the crop
yes.
because there's way too many unknowns. It's not like we have access to all of their 5-star moves, how much damage they're going to do, their MP cost. All of that stuff is not 100% known at this point.
And why don't we?
That's a
Isn't that
really great
are we?
question.
I mean, come on. Like we
Scopely,
had
if you're listening to this and you're
yeah,
not, it's ridiculous that we cannot see the 5-star moves and what they're going to be ahead of time in the game. Like, why are we left to try and figure it out based off of inaccurate beta numbers or guess? In some cases, we don't know at all. We should be able to look and see before we do something. I know we have that thing where we can see what the move is, but it doesn't tell you the damage, the MP cost, any of that useful information. So, rant off.
And you know what? Like you're complaining about 5-star. Like forget 5-star. Like regular moves, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star. Like
Yeah.
we don't know anything about any of these current guys because it's not on the website. That had nothing to do with. I mean, that was, I assume, some fans' labor of love. And then once he no longer had access to the files to keep populating it, now suddenly we have all these new characters that have come out that we're just completely in the dark. We don't know at what point does he get that extra gem? At what point does he get that extra submission turn?
Yep.
At what I have him at 2-star. What does he look like at 4-star? Like all of these are a very big deal, and yeah, we don't have access to any of that for the new characters. Obviously, for the old characters,
you still can look it up.
Yeah, I mean that's still an incredibly good resource. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's something that's too difficult to do in game, but something. Give us a website. Give us text file. Do something.
If I understand correctly, it used to however the guy did the. Incidentally, if you're listening, you don't know about the website. It is a great tool, especially for older characters. WWE Champions Game Guide. If you Google that, you'll find it. You can look wrestlers up with their moves, but it won't have the new ones up. I think shortly after, like Hogan and T, I think they quit doing it. Godfather's in there, Hogan, TR, but it wasn't long after that. I think it quit working. I think maybe after the Hall of Fame event, I think maybe Booker T's in there, but a lot of the other Hall of Fame guys aren't. I thought somebody said the way the website was set up, they pre-populated into the website when they were loaded in the code, but then they changed the file types, so now it doesn't work. I don't know if that's true. I'm not a coder. I don't know that stuff. That's just what I heard. But yeah, that was a great resource. I wish we still had access to all that. And then back to Champa. I do have him at 4-star gold. He is very good. He sometimes takes a little more damage than I would like running the Silence Gem moveset. I've started running him instead of the Silence Gem damage trainer. I run him with green gem damage, Booker T, and Fury medals, and his green gems are hitting over 8k. So, in feud, you can drop a row of greens. You're going to do 7 gems, do a bunch of damage, load up your green moves, all that good stuff. I mean, if he was tagging with Gargano, those green gems would be 24k a piece, 25, somewhere in there. So I run him Razar and Booker T, and that's been really good, pretty solid. But he does take a little more damage than I would like, but I would prefer him over Black. So if we're going to, come to an agreement, I think Gargano ahead of them both, but I would be fine throwing Champa in there for the sake of this discussion as our 5th.
So where does that put us? Because I mean, we we didn't really get anywhere. We both like both of them.
Yeah.
You think one is maybe better than a little bit better than the other, but not by much. And I think the other one is maybe a little bit better than the other by much.
So I don't have Gargano. I have Champa. I cannot. I'm. It's close enough that without me having him and played with him a bunch, I don't feel like I'll argue it well enough. So I think we should just go with Champa. If Gargano ends up in a wild card, that's fine. If people are annoyed by it, leave your thoughts in the comments. Love to hear what you guys think. If you have Gargano and you use him a bunch, and you think we're way missing the boat here, leave comments to that effect. If you want to see him get in as a wild card, make a nomination. Same thing with Black. You'd be hard to convince us with Black, probably, but you make your arguments, make your cases. But I say let's just throw Champa in for the fifth one and see where we end up.
My heart, my Gargano heart.
We can put Gargano in if you want. We could say the same thing about Champa.
It's my rebel heart.
You'll survive.
So
you got Doink in, so
let's let's go with Champa.
Okay.
And I mean we got two wildcard spots. Maybe Jonathan will live on. Maybe he'll kick out at 2.
I mean, he's kind of the master at kicking out at 2.
Yeah. So, one guy. So going back to the utility of it all. One guy that kind of was a big deal, and then people kind of stopped caring about him. That I wouldn't put him in the top 5, but I still think he's worth mentioning is Orton. So I talked about earlier about what my kind of metrics are going to be for how I perceive value, and Orton checks a lot of those boxes. So for Showdown, if you have Edge, it's 1 purple match and he's ready to go. In Feud, both his purples cost 7, so he's turn 1. You're gonna be able to load the finisher and do damage right away. Really great for cleaning things up or just doing a bunch of damage really fast. For tours, not as good, because now we're running into a situation where they're loading up these tours with a lot of these ridiculous gems, to where, I mean, you get people and they're doing like negative 9,000% gem damage. So suddenly his choose green, you do choose green and it does 37 damage, and you say, what happened? How did we get to 37? And yeah, you load his, you hit his finisher. His finisher can still be very strong, but especially on larger levels or higher levels, higher difficulty, he's not going to be as great as maybe he was at first. So yeah, for tours, I don't think he is that great, but I think he's super useful in Feud. And if that's who you had in Showdown, I think you could do a lot worse. So I would say honorable mention to Orton. And one guy who I think could potentially maybe be better than both Ciampa and Gargano, but I'm gonna kind of put him with Hall of Fame people, to where it's probably not even worth mentioning. DX Triple H. I think he is super good. And a lot of times you talk about, gem damage being an issue. Like, he has multiply gems, which none of the other techs that we've mentioned have multiply gems. So that means that you're going to be able to load your finisher very fast. Basically, 1 green match and both your green moves are ready. And if you don't have a green match, and I'm talking about using the purple multiply gem move, if you don't have a green match, but you have a purple match, we'll just put the multiply gems on the purple, match your purple, and now your purple move's ready to go. So basically, every time you match either purple or green, your moves are completely refilled. When you're breaking your X break gems, if you have your purple filled, you can strategically place it to where you're going to break your multiply gems and refill your moves. Or if you placed some previously with the choose destroy finisher, now if there's like a purple on there or green, that's just extra um, that you can do to destroy. So I think DX Triple H is incredibly good. There's a chance that he might even be better than both guys we mentioned right now, but yeah, not a lot of people have him. Um, Probably even less people have him at 4-star gold to where they'd be able to really make a case for him. But yeah, he's super strong. Um, Sean's really good too. He's faster. He doesn't have a sub, so you probably like him more. But I think he's not as good.
You know,
Do you have any? Do you have
I,
any? Do you have anything to say about that, or any other maybe honorable mentions you want to bring out?
I actually do. It's really weird. Um, a lot of people may not understand. So, you know my love of Dango and loading characters, right? Of
Yeah.
course you do. So there is a guy in the tech class that does this very, very well. That's actually Jay Uso. Um, 2 MP super kick. It lowers your tag by 2, and he also gains 2 purple MP with that. So you take that super kick, you gain some purple MP. You just got 2 different destroy moves you can run to destroy the color of your choice. He's got a 7 MP purple and a 6 MP green. So either you get a green or a purple match on turn 1, and on turn 2, you've loaded any color potentially with the choose destroy. The green is purple, so he can load purple. He can choose a color and load that, and then you can tag your guy in. So not as a cream of the crop guy, but as someone with a ton of utility that you can use in Showdown if you're not using a Dango type, or if you need to load a different color. We just had a male-female feud, and if you wanted to get your female in that was overpowered loaded, Jay would be a guy you could do that with.
Baby
So,
Dango.
yeah. So I would just throw that out there as something cool. Very niche. There's only really 2 guys that do that, Dango and Jay. So I would just mention that, not because I think he'd be anywhere on the list, but surprisingly useful, good tactic. And you're onto something with maybe potentially with Triple H. He's got some really strong stuff, but big asterisk with the cost per month for him, the rental character. So yeah, but he's definitely worth mentioning for sure.
Yeah, and I mean even he has gear where his submission does 75% more damage per turn,
Yeah.
and he has a belt where his gems do, I believe it's like 20% extra, maybe
Is a
no,
lot.
10% extra. Um, so yeah, I mean he's a tech, so you don't really think about techs doing gem damage, but if you're doing boosted gem damage from the belts and from metals and multiply gems, I mean, at some point we're going to talk about acros, maybe.
Maybe.
And all the top, well, most of the top acros, no, I would say, yeah, pretty much all the top acros are all about multiply gems, and their gem damage sucks.
Yeah.
So if they can be good with multiply gems, then yeah, someone who's a little bit stronger in the gem damage department can be even stronger. So yeah, a lot of good things with the DX guys, but yeah, that is a big barrier to entry. So yeah, I would say much like Hall of Fame, not someone that I would consider for this list. So yeah, I think I'm good with this list. How do you feel about the fact that um, Aleister Black didn't make the list?
I mean, I'm okay with it. I think we'll get some heat over it, but it's Sacco being on there now and the other options. I mean, there's more options, and I don't know. I feel like straps, tech gem damage isn't super high, and if you Fury Aleister Black up, he's still pinning a lot. I don't know that it keeps up with the armor and stuff on other guys. If you throw armor on him, I don't know if you can keep people down. And he's going to pin a lot. So, and unlike Kofi, he doesn't have a multiply. Sokka's got the huge bleed. Sting's got the really great sub. It's just the game's a lot recently. It changes fast, and Aleister Black was like the best tech for a very long time, and then Kofi came out, and then Kofi was 1 and Black was 1A, and it was every other tech. And I feel like maybe the game's slowly kind of passing him by, and 6 months to a year from now, I feel like maybe he's tough.
Mherex, are you still alive?
Yeah. Could you not hear me?
Oh, of course you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Don't worry about that.
Did you just see something in another space-time?
No, we're fine. We're perfectly fine. So yeah, Black, very good. If he's your best tech, we're not saying he's not tough. All right.
No, he's not. He's very, very good.
Yes, he's good. We just don't think he necessarily makes the cutoff to be cream of the crop.
I personally would use him over Doink. You'd
be wrong though.
Yes, maybe.
I mean, unless you're using the sub.
I would use him over. Then. I would use him over Doink, but he's very, very good tech. If you have Black, don't be ashamed of using him. We're not saying don't use him. He is. If he's not top tier, he is very close. So don't completely grill us. I just happen to like other techs more.
Yeah. And side note, if we're going to talk about coaching abilities, I would rather have Bruno.
Yes, Bruno's got a ridiculously good coaching ability, and he's really good himself too. Honestly,
I was gonna say he's no slouch by himself. So
yeah,
he could put those two together, and I would probably even rank him above Black.
Bruno could have easily been on this list of top 5, I think, too. He probably would be on some people's.
Yeah, I really like Bruno, and then like I said, add the coaching ability, and I think he gives you a ton of value. So yeah, we're talking about, for me, I mean, Black might end up being 6 or 7 now if you think about it.
Yeah, very possible for me too.
Yeah, and we talk about, I mean, we had that episode where we said all of the techs except the super rare ones, like not really top tier. And yeah, look at all the ones that we ended up with. None of those are people that are super rare. I mean, the guy that's going to be the most common is going to easily be Doink.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you know what you were talking about that episode. So good job to you, Mherex.
And you, sir.
Do we have anything else that needs to get done before we play the hottest game that's sweeping the nation?
No, I think we're on our final segment, the 20 questions. I think that's all we have left.
All right. So remember the rules.
No, refresh me on the rules real quick. What can I not do at the start?
Yeah, so that's when I said remember the rules. I was in the middle of refreshing you. So you have 20 questions, yes or no questions. One of the questions is your actual guess. So technically it's 19 questions plus your guess.
Right.
If you make a guess and you are wrong, regardless of what question it is, you automatically lose. You cannot ask questions regarding what class or era this person is until question 10. So your first 10 questions cannot be one of those. And because you cheesed it last week, you can also not ask specifically how many versions of the character is in the game.
Okay.
So you can ask, does he have multiple versions? But you can't say, does he have one version? Does he have two versions? Does he have three versions?
Okay.
So yeah, that is going to be my extra rule for this week.
Okay.
And I'm sure you'll find some way to cheese it, but yeah.
All right.
We'll go as we go.
Okay.
So
pick your character, sir. Do your worst.
Are you ready, sir?
I'm more than ready. Do you have a character?
I believe so. I think I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. I have a character. Final answer.
Okay. Is this character a female?
No.
Okay.
That's one.
Okay. Does this character have more than one version?
Yes.
Okay.
That is two.
Does this character use power gems?
I don't believe so, but let me make sure. That is a negative.
Does this character use immobile gems?
That is also a negative. That's 4.
Okay. Does this character use row breaks?
No. That's 5.
Does this character use column breaks?
No. That's 6.
X breaks?
Yes. That's 7.
So it uses X breaks. Okay. Does it use multiply gems?
No. That is 8.
So male, multiple versions, uses X breaks, but not multiply gems. No other. No other special gems. X break. So we got multiple versions. So DDP, HBK. Does this character have no? Does this character have an MP steal?
No. That is 9.
Does this character have countdown gems?
He does not. That is 10.
Does this character make botch gems?
Yes. That is 11.
Okay. Air is opened up now.
Yes.
Is this character Attitude Era?
No. That is 12.
Okay, well that takes out DDP. Right? Yeah. That was my guess up to this point. So X breaks and botch, but not attitude. What the? Who am I missing here? There's not a lot of X break guys. Is this character modern?
Yes. That is 13.
Does this character have a submission?
No. That is 14.
Modern, X break, botch gems. Does this character have multiple... No, let's go with something else. How to phrase the question I want to ask. I know it's this guy. Is this character a coach?
Yes.
This
That is 14,
yeah.
I think.
It's Undertaker, Glowing, Phantom, Phenom. Final answer.
That is correct, sir. With your 15th question, you have successfully found the person.
Still undefeated.
Yeah. And still weaseling your way every week.
Hey, I find those loopholes, also known as booty holes.
Whoa. Inappropriate.
Sorry.
All right. So I think we're done. Did you write down the people? So I think one thing that we didn't mention is
I did.
One, if we were picking the cream of the crop technician move, it's Undertaker's powerbomb. Like,
Yes,
there's no question about that.
for sure. We could have easily mentioned him too, to be honest.
Yeah, that's why I picked him. So no one has him. I went up against him once, and it was terrifying. So he's probably really good, but yeah, not someone that I would say there's enough information about to really definitively put him in that high stratosphere. So yeah, probably really good. Definitely, you shouldn't be upset about having him. Definitely worth leveling, but yeah, who knows if he would make the cut for the cream of the crop. Right now, we say no.
Indeed.
Take that, round table.
Oh, shots fired.
Yeah. Anything else? So, oh yeah, what I was gonna mention is, so we're gonna pick these people, and then we're going to seed them randomly. So each one of them is going to get a number 1 through 32, and then much like a typical tournament, 1 will face 32, 2 will face 31, and yeah, we'll discuss. Each battle will have a victor, and they'll advance to the next round. And so ultimately, there is just one that rises to the top.
I'm excited for the battle phases, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be good. It's good stuff. I believe so I was inspired by official celebrity fan of the podcast, Bobby De Niro. So he asked the question one time about who we thought was the best. You know, throw all the little kind of asterisks out the window. Just who do we think is the best? Which we kind of did the opposite, because we're saying who we think is the best with a bunch of asterisks.
Yes, indeed.
Be that as it may.
But Roberto D, this is for you.
Yeah, Bobby De Niro, love your work, particularly your comedic stuff. There's a movie where he plays a gay pirate, which is entertaining. Not that there's anything wrong with that. On that note, is there anything else you want to mention before we put this one to bed?
No, I think that's the perfect ending.
Yeah.
So, if you like this, like it, subscribe, share, comment on it, tell us what you think. We talked about a lot of stuff. Leave comments, let us know you're listening, let us know what you think. And give us that like and subscribe and share and all that good stuff, guys. And good luck out there.
And remember, guys, as always, remember, it's just a game. Relax. Have fun with it. Mherex, turn it off.
Working on it, dang it.